us to provide this on-call firefighter update. As already said, my name is Jamie Humphrey. I'm a station commander responsible for the on-call stations north and south.
I'm Gavin Garble, obviously on-call support manager for the north. I'm also attached to Outletry on-call as north commander as well.
If I could politely ask for questions to come at the end of the presentation, just because we've got quite a lot of content to get through. It's going to take about 20 minutes to get through the presentation. Okay. Thank you. So the aim of this presentation is to provide members with an update on the current on-call position and the strategy moving forward. So in order for me to provide you with an update on the current on-call position, it's pertinent to provide some information, some background information, and an overview of the important work and projects taken through the government since 2015 that has led us up to this point. So giving you a bit of a background on the journey. So between 2010 and 2012, Buckinghamshire Fire and Rescue Service on-call establishment was just above 200 employees. From 2013 to 2018, this figure has slowly declined to approximately 116 employees. Some of this has been through natural attrition and change in financial landscape of the service. However, there are a number of other reasons for this decline, some of which sit outside of our control. And I can give you some examples. There is evidence to suggest that recruiting on-call firefighters has become more challenging due to local industries or reduction in those local industries. And who basically for the staff to be released from those local industries, and then the need for people in the local communities to commute further away from their home addresses to find work. And there's also a retention issue where we're finding it more challenging retaining our staff due to on-call employees losing interest in leaving the service after only a couple of years, due to the realisation of what the role actually entails in terms of service needs and expectations placed upon the on-call or the modern on-call firefighter. So this next slide, this is not just an issue isolated to Buckinghamshire Fire and Rescue Service. As you can see from the slide, our neighbouring fire and rescue services are in a similar position and have suffered the retention losses over that period of time. The National Fire Chiefs Council, the NFCC, recognises nationally and in 2019 launched an on-call firefighter #NeedsMore recruitment campaign to support fire and rescue services across the country, working in collaboration to encourage recruitment and educate the public about the on-call roles, especially from the underrepresented groups. The service are signed up to the national campaign and have a number of employees on the National Fire Service Council, the NFCC local practitioners group, exploring innovative recruitment strategies. The service are also in regular communication with neighbouring fire and rescue services, sharing ideas around the attraction and retention of on-call employees. So a little bit about our financial background. The on-call budget was reduced in 2020-2021 when zero-based budgeting was introduced. The budget was reduced from 1.8 million and 186 full-time equivalent posts to the current just over 1 million and 96 full-time equivalent posts. The budget was reduced as a result of year-on-year underspends and the service not reaching the full-time equivalent post threshold. This budget was reallocated to other areas of the organisation that are under financial pressure. These figures include all costs associated for the on-call, including salary, training, allowances, national insurance and pension costs, etc. The figures above outline budgeted full-time equivalent posts and it does not represent the actuals, the establishment actuals. This will be highlighted in the presentation later. So a little bit about our journey. In 2015, the Strategic Review of Operational Resourcing Project was undertaken to analyse the operational availability the service had in place for providing emergency cover through risk and demand modelling. Evidence supported that the service didn't necessarily require all the 18 on-call appliances to be available at the same time. In 2016, the service commissioned the external company ORH to complete risk profile deployment modelling. ORH modelled a large number of deployment scenarios put forward by the service, and the resulting report highlighted the optimal response service was based on the station locations as 15 appliances. This consisted of 12 immediate response appliances, which are whole time appliances, and 3 appliances up to 10-minute response, which are on-call appliances. This was during the day. This figure changed to 8 immediate and 7 delayed during the night to take into account of our day crew stations becoming a delayed response at night time. Following this, and in the same year, the service then published operational resourcing guidance. And then in early 2017, the service developed its new response model and introduced new flexible crew arrangements. This included a new flexible on-call contract, which incorporated a phased response to recalling on-call firefighters and consisted of 4 lines of availability. When the strategic review of operational resourcing project was completed in 2017, a programme reset was implemented and the project renamed to the Development of Operational Resourcing Programme. The aim of the programme was to support delivery of the new response model and consisted of 4 key areas of focus.
The Development of Operational Resourcing Programme, DOOR project, had 4 key areas of focus: improving standards on immediate response of appliances, develop the role of the on-call firefighter, increase availability of frontline appliances, and increase availability of specialist and support appliances. Key area focus 2 incorporated the development of new on-call contracts and employment. So this was designed to provide a greater degree of flexibility for employees and improve on-call appliance availability. Contract and proposition would also be more attractive for prospective employees. Historically, an on-call firefighter could only provide cover to their local fire station by remaining within a 5-minute catchment area. The new contract recognises the commitment required by on-call employees and is designed with more realistic expectations. The contract allows them to move outside the 5-minute catchment area, with the first line response increasing to 10 minutes. In addition to this, they can also provide a tiered or delayed response. Second line allows a response time of 20 minutes, third line of up to an hour, the fourth line up to 3 hours. This provides the service with the availability to increase its response at times of high demand. This also removes the need for individuals to take their appliance off the run. They need to travel further than 10 minutes out of their catchment area of their base station. Postcode checker you see on the screen above enables prospective employees to see if they live within the catchment area prior to applying for the service of an on-call firefighter. All new on-call employees now sign up to the new contract.
So our current on-call status, the service current on-call establishment as of February 2020 sits at 120 employees, which equates to 82 full-time equivalent posts. So that 120 figure is the actual establishment based upon 82 full-time equivalent posts. Numbers had increased at the beginning of the year to 124 employees, but have reduced due to some being successful in our whole time and flexi firefighter recruitment campaign. The current establishment is made up of 80 just on-call employees, plus 40 whole-time employees on secondary on-call contracts. Of the 120 employees, 31% are still on the existing old on-call contract, 62% are on the new flexible on-call contract, and 7% provide us just with positive hours only, and that's due to being the flexi firefighters, where they can't be on a retainer. We started to see a steady increase in recruitment in 2018 when switching to running our online virtual awareness evenings, where people could attend the event without having to travel from their homes. This resulted in approximately 60 candidates starting the selection process and generally resulted in 10 people being employed at the end of each process. Gavin will outline the recruitment process in the next slide. Recruitment numbers have recently plateaued. Some of this could be down to the pandemic, no evidence of that yet. However, more evidence points towards a distinct lack of advertisement for on-call recruitment campaigns. We currently only advertise for on-call firefighters on our website, fire station recruitment banners that you'll see around the county, and on the NFCC website, which registers the interest of potential candidates that reside in Buckinghamshire. Previously, we've seen increases in attracting prospective on-call employees following serious incidents where we've subsequently posted social media campaigns targeted the local communities near to where the incidents have happened. This has attracted and driven larger numbers to our website and the awareness efforts.
Our current recruitment process is ongoing with 2 intakes a year, usually January and August. The process begins by candidates attending an online awareness evening, where they are fully briefed on the service and what it entails to be an on-call firefighter. At the end of the awareness evening, interested candidates request an application pack. Applications are then received and sifted, with successful candidates being invited to take SHL tests. These consist of psychometric talent screening and include English and maths if they should not have the relevant grades. This is a stage where we lose most of our candidates. We have set a national standard pass rate of 36%, but still lose large numbers at this stage. This is something that we are monitoring. Candidates successfully at the SHL stage are invited to role-related tests where they are tested against practical elements of the firefighter role. Interviews then take place and with that being successful, complete the process with medicals and DBS checks. Offers of employment are then sent. Recent recruitment campaigns have seen decline in numbers, which in turn has resulted in fewer candidates being successful at the end of the process.
So our strategy moving forward, the service has spent some considerable time and effort in developing its response model, which is on the screen, the development of operational resourcing programme, and the current on-call proposition, which is both innovative and unique to our service. The on-call support team are working on a strategy to complete the objectives originally set out in the development of operational resourcing programme or project. The strategy is envisaged to take 12 to 18 months and place a focus on increasing on-call appliance availability in order to achieve the response model, so the 12 and 3, and I'll focus on the 3 on-call stations. The strategy focuses on 5 key areas, and they are key on-call stations through risk and response modelling, employee engagement, which encompasses the on-call contract, recruitment, training and development, and systems integration and development. In order to understand if the profile and deployment model provided by ORH in 2016 is still optimal, the data team conducted up-to-date response modelling, which covered all incident types within Buckinghamshire Fire and Rescue Service and was based on north, central and south scenarios. The on-call calculations have been made on the assumption that good performance is based on the average attendance time to all incidents. The response modelling identified 3 key stations as Buckingham, Salisbury and Princess Risborough. This is the most up-to-date modelling for the service. However, the data team continue to work on response modelling that includes simultaneous activity, different incident types, future risks and potential future demand, which may influence changes to the key station locations in the coming years. I haven't touched on the resilience or hubbing of the stations, as this, I understand, will be covered in this afternoon's session.
So to provide greater flexibility and to support the response model, we need to move all on-call employees who are on the old contract onto the new flexible contract, which enables both immediate and tiered response. Consultation has taken place over a period of months with representative bodies who support the new contract. Furthermore, the series of employee engagement sessions were carried out in February this year to educate and inform all those on existing contracts of the benefits and flexibility of the new contract offers. Letters have been drafted and sent out to staff inviting them to move onto the new contract. A review will take place in April to identify how many remain on the existing contract, and a report will be shared with SMT.
So recruitment, this is profiling target campaigns. To enable the key stations to operate as 24/7 first-line resources, it's been identified that the service will need to recruit approximately 20 on-call employees across all 3 stations and target them for daytime availability. To enable this and to significantly ramp up the recruitment of on-call employees, a small number of the on-call working group are focusing purely on recruitment. The main purpose of the group is to ultimately increase the attraction and recruitment of on-call employees by targeting the right people that live in the right place who can provide the right availability. The group are currently working on a completely new approach to recruitment. This new approach will see campaigns built using personas to help identify the profile of prospective employees. A persona is a semi-fictional portrayal of a marketing audience we want to target. It assists in focusing on the target market for our on-call vacancies. The group will develop organic posts and ads that speak to the target customers we've chosen once we've defined our on-call applicant personas. This information will be used in the first instance to run targeted campaigns aimed at daytime availability for the key stations, and will be pushed out through a number of media platforms. This approach can then be used to target gaps at other stations. The on-call working group are also looking at ways to streamline the training and development of on-call employees. The group are looking at revising the modular training in order to significantly reduce the time it takes to train an on-call employee, thus removing some of the frustrations employees face at that time frame, which could be up to 12 months. This will in turn improve retention. Collaborative on-call training with our neighbouring fire and rescue services is also an option and is currently being explored.
So finally, our resourcing system, Fire Service Rotor, is now fully integrated with Vision, our mobilising system used by Thames Valley Fire Control Service, and now auto-detects the level of appliance availability. This is based on the availability of individual users and no longer requires employees to manually update control. This work was key to enabling our on-call employees to book different lines of appliance availability and importing themselves to different stations, providing a delayed response, which then automatically updates appliance availability to Thames Valley Fire Control Service. From April the 1st, on-call appliance availability will be monitored more closely. The service will have a clearer picture of how many on-call employees are on the new flexible contract by this point, and staff will be encouraged to look at their availability and where possible, amend this to increase appliance availability at their place, location, or other stations. Where crewing opportunities exist, the resource management team will encourage staff to bring appliances on the run by utilising their tiered response, especially where their base station is off the run. This will be reviewed regularly. This will be reviewed at regular intervals and reported through a monthly RMT pump availability report by the Group Commander of Resourcing and Head of Prevention, Response and Resilience. This slide shows an example of an on-call station utilising a mixture of first line and tiered response to maintain appliance availability. The service is working with Fire Service Rotor to develop messages that on-call employees receive in relation to pump availability and crewing opportunities and possible stations.
The service is already starting to see a marked increase in on-call appliance availability. This slide shows an example of our daily ridership. It's just one example. We're seeing an increase predominantly during the evenings and weekends and during periods of high demand. For instance, when Storm Eunice hit the UK, when it hit the UK recently, the on-call were contacted directly by the Ops Support Room or the Ops Support team to make themselves available at their station as an immediate response or by supporting a local station through the tiered response. We had some success with this. I'm therefore confident this will increase in the coming months and culminate in achieving our response model, with the key stations providing a first line response Although we anticipate this could take some 12 to 18 months to see a marked improvement. The progress update will be provided to members this time next year. So how can you help? We politely request that members engage or continue to engage with the local communities across the county, raising the profile and the importance of the on-call firefighter role. We'd ask that you signpost people from the local communities to the Buckinghamshire Fire and Rescue Service website and the recruitment campaigns, and then support financial investment for on-call growth. And that's the end of the presentation. So thank you for listening, and I'll take any